So Lavrov looks worse in the eyes of the American viewer after such interviews, Lavrov and Russian Federation in general.
I think so, yes. Because if somebody understands the issues well enough, which I think is always going to be a minority of citizens in the U.S. who understand well enough what the terms and conditions that we're discussing about the peace settlement are. But either way, it's not bad to have somebody on like Lavrov who so very clearly is just repeating what he's told to repeat. And Sergei Lavrov is not an important figure in Russia, as you well enough know. He's not in the inner circle of Putin. He didn't know about the full-scale invasion until, 2 or 3 hours before it began? He's not a significant figure. He's simply a mouthpiece. His only job is to read what they tell him. I don't think he thinks of anything. I've never heard at least a story even of him planning foreign policy for Russia. He's not involved in these decisions. He just repeats what the Kremlin tells him to repeat. And that's a good thing, because it's irrational and it's stupid. And anyone that listens to him realizes this is irrational and stupid. And very fortunately, he's the foreign minister of Russia, so everybody can realize the Russian foreign minister is irrational and stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and everybody in the whole world can see it again. How actively are Americans discussing Trump's attempts to end the Russian-Ukrainian war these days?
It's quite a bit in the news, to be fair. That is in the news a lot. But it's been in the news a lot for the whole time. It's surprising, I think, to most people how badly it's gone. It's only in Washington. It's only the White House that thinks that things are going really well. And I think that just shows that the Russians have known exactly what to say and how to make them happy, how to make them think that there's going to be a real chance at peace. Because it's very abundantly clear there's no movement. There's nothing going on. There's absolutely nothing. It's just empty words. The Russians are getting from the Americans exactly what they want. We see that the Russian side continues to demand all these different things, these 9 different things, and I have not heard anything yet from Washington that they refuse to accept them. And J.D. Vance, even 6 months ago, said that it was, in fact, the Russians who were being unfair. They're unwilling to make concessions. Okay, it's been 6 months. Have you seen J.D. Vance do anything about it? No, there's nothing.
Yes. Russian Federation has a lot of problems nowadays. Among of them, it's that fact that first Russian region to completely stop selling gas or line due to the growing fuel crisis that began after a series of strikes by Ukrainian drones on Russian oil refineries. Writes the Moscow Times about it. So such situation, they show weakness of Russian Federation too to the whole world, and how Ukraine can strike effectively and show our power.
It's very important that the world sees that. I agree with you totally. I think you're absolutely right. The fact is, unfortunately, I don't think it's shown nearly enough. Everybody thinks that Russia is winning, which is just insane. By no metric are they winning. I mean, they've taken less than 3% of Ukrainian territory in the course of 3.5 years and had over a million, something hundreds of thousands of casualties in this period of time. This is not success. This is a failure, a total failure. And so when Ukraine is able to attack successfully within Russia, the oil refineries are a good example. We see that they were able to successfully reduce the amount of production by 13, perhaps up to 20%, which is huge. Parts of Russia now, like the Kuril Islands, no longer have gasoline for sale for private citizens. Overall, this is good. And unfortunately, I think that currently Ukraine is being forced by the United States to probably do less attacks with American weapons. But Ukraine should, in fact, do much more. And that's why I really do hope the Americans get excluded from the negotiating process. If the Americans get pushed out of this, it's the best thing that could probably happen to Ukraine and to Europe. For everybody involved, this is the best thing that could happen. The only one that benefits from the United States being involved is Russia. It doesn't benefit anyone else. Absolutely no one else is benefiting from this. Because if Ukraine were to just strike, let's imagine, there's 7, 8 ports in all of Russia that export oil. Let's imagine you just destroyed the ports. It's not that hard to do. It's physically feasible. And then you think about the warm water ports, soon it's going to be winter, just attack those. It's only a couple of them. If you destroy those successfully, that destroys the Russian national economy. There is no more national economy in Russia. That's 40%, 45% of their national budget. Ukraine physically could do this if it wanted to. That would very quickly change how this war turns out.
Sometimes I think, are Russians really happy about such events, about Putin's war against us that make their lives worse and worse from day to day?
I don't think they are. I mean, I think that most the average person in Russia is probably indifferent to it. They don't think about it very often. They probably don't have a very positive feeling of it, especially those who are the younger generations. The older ones who just watch state propaganda all day in television, they probably think that, you know, the special military operation is somehow beneficial to Russia. But I think that the average person in Russia is mostly indifferent, which is normal in all countries. It's typically that way. It's not unusual. But the other thing is that it's, I think for the average Russian who is watching the situation, they realize it's bad, especially those who have education, those who live in Moscow, those who live in St. Petersburg. They realize it's not helped their country at all. And so overall, I think going ahead, what's important is that the average Russian feels that the war is getting closer to them. And that's why, you know, once again, a great idea, very easy to do, is have Ukrainian drones fly over Moscow airports 24 hours a day for the next 4 weeks. If no airplanes can come in, no airplanes can go out, the Russian economy again collapses. And the Russian population as a whole sees that there is no longer the ability of the government to control the airspace. But that's why more than ever, I really would hope that Ukraine is able to do more attacks within Russia. That's probably the most effective way to change the outcomes of negotiations.
Jason, thank you. Thank you for your position, for your time, and for our today conversation. See you next week. Take care, please.
Thank you.
Jason J. Smart, political commentator and PhD in political science. My name is Iryna Uzlova. Guys, thank you for joining and watching us. Leave your comments, please, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, War and Politics 24. See you next week. Take care.